Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends, and today is Wednesday, and we're almost 1 week on from the start of the Tholen Foulbeard Fusion event. But what we have to talk about today is some brand new events that have started today, namely related to the event dungeon. Now, some of you might be knee-deep in this already, or at least have tried to grind your way up through some of the stages for the Kurosa event dungeon, and there's lots of pinpoint gear up for grabs. And that's why I want to talk about in this video how you can double dip to get some great stuff and rewards if that is something that you're grinding. But before we get started with today's video, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid Shadow Legends yet, what are you waiting for? Because if you download using the QR code in the top right or in the link in the description down below, on a new account or an alt account or whatever you want to do, you'll get yourself Corrado Fox Hunter, a great legendary character, and you'll also get yourself three free epics, in fact, Tagore, Ugo, and Thane at account level 10, 20, and 30. So 3 great epics and 1 amazing legendary character. Now, before we get started with the rest, I do want to remind people that it's just crazy because Demon Slayer, promo code Demon Slayer, right? Normally I have that on the screen. I don't have the picture actually on hand. But if you use the promo code Demon Slayer, you could get yourself Tholen Foulbeard for free. Absolutely crazy. I've been talking about this in every video. I think it's nice, but it's also still kind of crazy that they're offering the they're offering the fusion character for free for new players. So this one is Demon Slayer for Tholen Foulbeard, and you don't have to do any of this events because I think that new players can't actually really engage in the first fusion event anyways, or it's a little bit more challenging. There's something to do with the newbie tournament, so I guess maybe that's why they've decided to do that. So you can get this character absolutely for free. You don't have to grind him like the rest of us if you use that promo code. So there you go. Absolutely crazy. But let's get started with some of the events that just launched this morning, for me anyways. Kurosa's Conquest tournament. So this is available here. You're going to get points for clearing the event dungeon. I'm going to go take a look. In this video, we're going to kind of take a look at what I'm doing in the event dungeon as well. So you're going to get some of these. If you do rank, now you have to be top 3 in the rankings. That's probably not going to happen for everyone. But there's some gems that you can pick up as a consolation prize. And inside the milestones, I think they're quite good as well anyways. An Immortal Soulstone is still very valuable. If you hold and hoard these for very specific times, for events, you can get some good points out of these. And actually, I have quite a few of these days in my Altar of Souls. So I'm kind of just waiting on a good moment to pull these. I do have 6 Immortal Soulstones and 1 Eternal Soulstone so far, and actually I can probably buy 3 more of these Mortal Soulstones. So I'm waiting for a better event. Yes, I realize that there is a Soul Chase tournament going on right now, and if you want to whale out for this, be my guest. But I don't really whale on these sorts of purchases on souls, and so in order to get points for this, you're gonna have to get lucky and get some high, 5-6 stars, but namely on like legendary or mythical characters to get some really big points for this. Otherwise, grinding up like this doesn't sound, looks like low numbers, but actually it's not going to be that easy to get. Like, you basically want to get 1030 and above, maybe 675 and above, I suppose, to get anything decent here. And yeah, maybe it's worth pulling for some people, but for me, I prefer actually just sitting on them for some better events. Sometimes the Deck of Fates events, or sometimes when they're related to maybe character unlocks, which they do from time to time. Also, there is no 2x going on with the Altar of Souls, and that's usually the better time to do it. So, sometimes they do boosted drop rates and things like that, which they're not doing right now. So that's another reason why I'm not pulling my souls here today. So that's going on, those 2 events. The Gear Ascension tournament is also running, but this doesn't give anything special. So I'm not going to be doing that. You do actually get, so you can get some of these in the top 3, but I know I'm not spending that much energy in order to get that. So it's just not a high priority for me at this time. So those are the 3. The Ice Golem tournament, by the time you watch this, it's probably going to be over. So you should have done that anyways. But for the next day, there is going to be Dungeon Divers. It's still running, right? We talked about this in the previous video 2 days ago about the Prism Crystal. So if you still, which I still need to finish grinding, I'm going to do that here today because I need another 1,000 points, which I am going to be doing through the event dungeon. So I did decide to wait so that I can double dip with this. And that's my plan for that. The Coalition event, also just a little bit of update here. We did pass the Primal Shard mark. So we are getting the 1.5x points down here, the multiplier. And just in case people are wondering, and because this was a question that I had that I apparently missed, that it is retroactive. So as soon as you hit this 1.5x, it is going to take whatever your existing points or personal points are sitting at, it will multiply that retroactively. So you don't have to worry about like what's going to happen to your points or something like should you save them. You don't need to worry about that. So all this stuff you can just keep doing as you normally do. Now, for me, I've pretty much cleared all the basic quests, but I haven't finished the expert quests. A lot of these are related to Tholen Falbeard, which I won't get until later on, and I have no chance in hell to do any of most of these elite missions. These just are too hard for me. So great on you if you're able to clear some of this, but I'll be lucky if I'm even able to clear some of the experts. So I don't know how far I'm actually going to get on the personal points track this time around. But let's go talk about the event dungeon because I think that's really important. Now, I don't think I've actually really done this. I don't think I've really talked about it much on the channel so far. It is available for another 8 weeks. A lot of people are knee deep in this. I am able to get to 20, stage 20. And this is a really good milestone mark, in my opinion, because it does cut out the 4-star gear as soon as you jump from 19 to 20. So you're no longer getting 4-star drops, which is really good because most kind of like ender game, if that's a word, the players would be focusing on 5 to 6-star gear. That's typically around the stage 20 mark for other dungeons. So that's why this is a really good milestone. But it is quite a bit of a challenge. Now, the enemies on 19 versus 20, I believe, are the same sort of ads, as you will. That's why I call them ads. It's kind of like an MMO term. But those extra enemies there are the same as 20. But there is a pretty big difference on stage 20, which is that the Kurosa herself gets the Awaken buff, where you do less damage depending on your red stars. And so my lineup and how I deal with this, now this is going to vary from person to person and depending on your roster. This is my auto stage 20. But what's a bit of a challenge on this, and I think this might be intentional, is that, I really want to focus on just killing Kurosa. I want to limit my AoE as well, which I don't do with Alice. I do not do her whirlwind to hit everyone because as soon as you kill everybody, she turns into her alt form and just basically wrecks you. So I'm going to do a little bit of a run here and show you what I mean. I'm doing this on Super Raid. My goal for this team that I have here is to control the entire team. I'm not really there to kill them. So I'm using Fabian. And the good thing about Fabian is that he not only turn bar or so rewinds the ability energy of the other characters, but puts basically true fear on everyone as well. I have Ugo to put block buffs on the enemies as well, so they can't really get anything. They're kind of just being controlled. Everyone's slowed. They have true fear. Now, where the RNG happens is like that, where like sometimes they still attack because true fear, I believe, is 50%, right? So they still could get their moves through, but then you'll have Fabian coming through with the Petrify and more fears from his A2 when that happens. And I'm essentially, and that guy hits pretty hard, actually. I don't have defense up on this team. So there has been times where my Furl the Barkhorn has bit it, mostly from that guy with the mace. But the reason why it's hard to do a pure auto is because if you don't target Kurosa in the middle here with the circle, you can see the red circle that I have on the screen here, that they'll kind of go around and hit other characters. And that's a little bit of a problem. They mostly target my Furl, and I think that's because of his affinity. I think that's what's going on versus my other characters. They tend to target the character that, they're, oh, you almost bit it there, actually. Oh, wow, he did bite it already. I don't think that that was earlier than usual. I don't think it's quite out. I think they got through more of their fear attacks than they should have. They did not get true fear as much. And so I do find that the biggest source of damage comes from this guy, and usually when they put attack down. But normally Fabian comes back around, clears the buffs, and it's usually not that big of a problem. I'm a little bit surprised that Furl bit it that early on. Now, the thing is I think that Kurosa is easier to kill in this form. She takes less damage for every enemy up. So the ideal thing would be like if you can kill like two characters, two of these guys, and then like not kill the others. Because as soon as you kill all four of them, she turns into her all form, goes insane, does a bunch of attacks that you don't want, and it makes it a lot harder. But she does take less damage for every enemy dead. So the way that I've done this, and this is not very fast by any means. Usually this takes, Furl's dead, unfortunately, so that's maybe taking it gonna make it take a little bit longer. But normally my clear time is about 3 to 3.5 minutes. But the one thing that's different about stage 20 is this here, the awakened weakness. So this is related to red stars, and basically she takes less damage. Depending on what your red star levels are, and for every red star that you have, they deal more damage. And this is a big deal because you might not have a lot of red stars to be able to use this in your roster. I really hope if Fabian bites it, that's a bit of a problem too, but he should be able to clear that, and we should, again, there we go, get some more True Fear up. I think those True Fears are not proccing as much, but Alice is still a pretty big part of my damage on my team because she is a free 5 red that I picked up during the Alice chase. So she's one of my biggest burst damage characters. I'm just avoiding using her Whirlwind because if I kept using that, she would basically have killed all these enemies, and Kurosa would have gone into her alt form and killed me. That's basically what would have happened. So I'm doing a slow burn on this. It's not fast. It's sad that Kurosa did not survive. Sorry, that Furol didn't last longer. But there you go. It was a clear time of 3 minutes and 18 seconds. I picked up my points, and this stuff is so important. Like these banners, because the banners give speed, but also just pinpoint is so important. The stats that you get from this, accuracy and speed for even just the 2-piece set, if you have 2 accessories that are pinpoint, this makes such a significant difference because it's way better than just standard accessories. So that's why I'm kind of doing this. I'm spending my time and my energy doing the event dungeon largely to farm pinpoint gear. And yes, I know it's going to cost energy to do this, but it is going to be so worth it when you start adding pinpoint accessories to your existing characters or any new characters that you decide to build. Because once this event dungeon does go away, and I know it's here for a while, but once it does go away, normally these kinds of pinpoint accessories are gone for like 3 to 4 months. So I really would take advantage of this when you can. And also right now, especially, we get some double overlaps with the Dungeon Divers if you still need to clear that. And then the Kurosa's Conquest Tournament milestone, which I think is also important. You might as well, right? If you're farming this right now, you might as well do it. That's how I kind of look at it. I'm doing this anyways, and I'm getting some extra rewards out of that. So I just wanted to share with you guys what my plan is for today. That's what I'm doing here today. And before we get started, or before we leave, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid Shadow Legends yet, what are you waiting for? Because if you download using the QR code in the top right, or in the link in the description down below, you will get yourself Corrado Fox Hunter of the Shadowkins faction and 3 free epics as well. Tagore, Ugo, and Fane, who are amazing characters to start your journey off. So don't delay there. And don't forget that you can use the promo code Demon Slayer, right? That's going to get you a free fusion character, right? The Tholen Falbeard that we are grinding out right now. If you use this promo code, you will get him absolutely for free within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Absolutely crazy. Can't believe they're doing that. So that's going to be it for now, everyone, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.